Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Prepared's. Wow, it's amazing, it's magic. Suddenly, as food processing plants fires are trending, suddenly they all stop. Because you know how it was just normal to have that many fires? Now it's normal to not have them so that they can say that that's not happening. But you know what's not in the news and is spontaneously combusting right now? Recycling plants. Yes, recycling plants all over the United States. And you say, Steve, recycling plants, what's that about? They take scrap metal and they sell it to manufacturers. They take pallets and they sell it to shipping companies. They take waste products and sell them to companies who are making products with them. Have you noticed that materials have been going up in price recently? And yes, recycling plants are now spontaneously combusting. I'm going to limit myself to just the past 3 weeks because, well, we don't have all day to talk here. So I just want to give you a sampling of what's been happening in the last 3 weeks. You let me know if this is normal. All right. Recycling plant fires. Firefighters battling fire in Mesa, Arizona at recycling plant. Yet another recycling plant fire today in Connecticut. This was from yesterday. Just put up there, and then there was one in Oklahoma yesterday, so 2 days ago for us. And Oklahoma, New London. And then, of course, Wednesday we had one in Honolulu. Fire officials responding to a 2-alarm fire at Island Recycling at Kapolei. I can't pronounce that. Norfolk, Virginia. Firefighters with Norfolk Fire Rescue responded to a fire at a local paper recycling facility Thursday afternoon. This was last week, I believe. Atlantic Paper Stock, Inc. All right. This is the full readout on that Mesa, Arizona. Fire crews working to control fire that sparked at recycling center in Mesa, Arizona. And no further specifics on that. Oklahoma City specifics. They put out a fire. Hours later, they're still putting out hot spots. That's something you don't often hear about, but at these recycling plants, a lot of times they'll have tires. And here in Washington County in Pittsburgh, we had a tire fire that went burning for months. It was a disaster. So if you have a recycling plant and you have a lot of those raw products like wood and potentially tires, that can really burn for quite a long time. Okay, city firefighters extinguished large debris fire at recycling yard. This is in Las Cruces, I believe, New Mexico. They don't ever... These are all local reports, okay? This is not national news, which makes it really irritating to dig through all this stuff because they never put the state on there. They expect you to know where this thing is. Adams Scrap Recycling in Greenville, Colorado, Greenville County in South Carolina. 5:51 p.m., large pile of scrap metal on fire. Because you know how scrap metal always is catching on fire. Another one, town of Peshtigo. I believe this is in Florida. Peshtigo Fire Department is continuing to investigate a fire in a metal recycling yard. Another one is residents near Phoenix have a pallet fire at a recycling yard. Crazy. All right, New York doesn't want to be missing out on this. So a heaping pile of trash caught a flame at Sunset Park recycling plant. Folks, if you thought this was, and this happened on Earth Day, just to top things off, right? So if you thought that recycling was good for the planet, You're wrong, actually. It's safer for it to go to there's no dumpster fires here that we're seeing other than what's happening in the federal government. The San Carlos Park Fire Department ended a 10-day active fire operation at MW Horticultural Recycling. Yes, more recycling. That one's in Illinois, I believe. Apopka, Florida. First responders in Apopka responded to a large fire near State Road 429 early Saturday morning. And it was Rain or Shine. That's funny. Rain or Shine. A recycling facility. Yes, another one. Oh, look at that. Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln Fire and Rescue respond to a fire at Green Quest Recycling. Crews arrived at the recycling center to find a large pile of recycling products on fire outside the warehouse building. It was then upgraded to a second alarm, and additional folks had to come in. And this is actually a different one here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Friedman Recycling. Scene of a fire. Darlington County, South Carolina. Fire crews across the PD, I don't know, put out a massive fire at a scrap metal recycling business. Oh, this one's fun. This is just a local article, just kind of covering a fire in Hamilton, Hamilton in South New Jersey. Recycling fire Thursday night. Let's see here. Is the third recycling plant this week. They just kind of casually toss it out. That's the third one this week at the recycling plant. Basically, that the firefighters are sick of putting these out. 2 fires called near Ted's Recycling in Smithboro. I believe that's South Carolina. It's hard to keep track of all of these. There's just so many of them. Let's see, a trash fire at Denver Metal Recycling in Denver, Colorado, visible from I-70, east of I-25. Yes, this is all within the last 3 weeks. Hang with me. We're continuing. Warren Recycling Facility in Warren. That's outside Detroit, Michigan. Yes. Large plumes of smoke into the air, which processes scrap metal. Folks, this is not normal. That is not normal. No, those... now, recycling plant fires have been picking up recently, but now as we desperately need those commodities, as we desperately need those inputs, and as all this suddenly everyone's looking at the food processing plants, suddenly, over here, something starts burning. It's like whack-a-mole. It looks like the controlled demolition, the secretive controlled demolition of our supply chains and food supply. Who thought that recycling would be so dangerous? Once again, where are all the trash fires? Why is it just the recycling plants? Suddenly it's not industrial facilities burning. It's not food plants that are burning, which a whole heck of them were. And then suddenly it's something else. Friends, I hope you're just paying attention, because resources are where it's at. It used to be all about, let's promise the future of what we're going to sell to who and all this kind of stuff like that. Sales was the future. Sales growth. We got millions of daily users, most of them are bots, but, that was what drove the stock market up. But now, true wealth is going to be measured in commodities. So what are you doing with commodities? Do you have food? Do you have resources stocked up? Some of you guys watch Southern Prepper One. I watch a lot of his videos, very practical stuff for getting ready and prepped and stuff. He talks a lot about actually stockpiling nails and screws and practical metal. He talks about them as his precious metal supply, and that's a great way of looking at it. What consumables, what things can you sink your money into that are actually going to have real value come a year from now, come 2 years from now? Stuff that not only would you need to buy, but maybe your neighbors will need to buy. Stuff that you can stock up and hold and put your wealth in that, because your paper currency, the ones and zeros on your bank account, one, they don't belong to you, and two, they're losing their value rapidly. The stock market went crashing the last week, losing significant chunks of its value. But the dollar has been crashing, and hardly anyone's talking about it. People who have millions of dollars are losing large chunks of money. People who live paycheck to paycheck, whose hourly wage is not going up by the hour, whose pension checks are not going up by the hour, they're losing money. Is Social Security going up as fast as inflation? Absolutely not. Most Americans are losing a tremendous amount of wealth due to inflation. So, recycling center fires, that's the new one, huh? Let's get this rolling around in circles. If we talk about it enough, draw enough attention, maybe suddenly all the recycling plants will stop catching fire, just like all the food plants stopped catching fire. One can hope. And just as a practical note, might want to be careful about recycling, folks. It's a dangerous practice. This is what I got for you today. Steve Poplar, out.